Erwin Smith, leader of the Scouts, the man who made the impossible decisions, and my hero. Would he support the rumbling, or would he try and stop it? I have rewatched every line Erwin has ever said in the anime. Yes, every line. And in this video, we're going to be discussing Erwin's dream, views, and morals to understand the man in order to better understand what he would do in the event of the rumbling. Good anime afternoon, I'm Dead Diligent, and I'm so happy to be discussing my favourite AOT character, Erwin Smith. Now, as I said previously, I have rewatched all of Erwin's scene in preparation for this video and taken the most relevant lines to share with you today. I have looked at several blogs, Q&As and videos for this video. However, I don't feel they describe my favourite character enough. Just to let you know that this video is an anime only discussion. There will be no spoilers from the manga. I think it's important to note that Erwin is a complex man, and I think he is misunderstood by many. I think it is also important to note that if Erwin survived and became the Colossal Titan, the outcome of the events of AOT would be dramatically different. There's no denying that. And I think our current timeline would be completely different. I believe if Erwin was there before the rumbling, he would have been able to come up with a better strategy to solve the problem of the rumbling without using the rumbling. But that is not a question we're dealing with today. That is maybe for another video. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see an alternate timeline where Erwin was actually chosen instead of Armin. But today we are exploring the character of Erwin Smith to decide whether he would support the rumbling or not. One of Erwin's first lines is, "Do you know who the enemy is?" And I bring this up as Erwin never knew of the outside world or its enemies that lay within it. Erwin's world was that of walls and titans, an entirely different one to one of culture, races and people. I mention this first as all we can do is have an educated guess. Erwin never knew how big the world was, although, as we know, he sure dreamed of it. Erwin says multiple times, "Save mankind," but what does he mean by this? In the context, he is talking about dropping the walls, saving humanity from the Titans, so that they all may be free. But some would see this as him doing anything he can to save his people, the people of Paradis. Others would say he would want to save as many people as possible in order to save mankind. I feel it's very difficult to know whether Erwin would want to save people he never knew and people who are trying to kill his own people. Erwin is a slave to the mission of freeing humanity. Some say he is selfish. I think not. I think that if that was true, he would never have charged in his last charge. He would have tried to go to the basement, his one true dream. He would have wormed his way out of it and done what he wanted. But Erwin is a man of pride and honour, not selfish. I personally think Erwin is a selfless man, not caring for himself, only caring for the mission. He has shown this multiple times in words and actions throughout the series, from not thinking of himself as important to using himself and the ones he loves and cares about as bait. The man is so driven by the mission that he would put his closest friends on the line, as well as his own life, just to achieve freeing humanity. The man Erwin was a man who shouts "Advance" as his arm is getting ripped off by a titan. He is a man who would do anything, and I mean anything, to achieve the mission. He did a suicide charge for a chance at victory, knowing he would never see it. Erwin was a leader who saw the greater good as his mission, no matter the cost. That was the man he was. Erwin's goal was pretty clear. For the wall to fall and the people to be free. And for this to happen, the Titans would need to be dealt with. Can you think of any other character in the series with a similar goal? You guessed it, Eren. People have used this as justification that Erwin would support the rumbling, and what I say to these people is you're forgetting one important element, and that is time. A lot of time has passed, and Eren has changed dramatically. Erwin, I think, would not recognise Eren if he saw him today, and not because his Titan has changed, but because his views have changed so dramatically. But would Erwin's? Erwin says, now my mission in life is to prove my father's theory once and for all. The theory of a bigger world of humans and human achievement and science. Do you really think his next step after seeing the wider world would be to destroy it? I think not. Erwin loves people, not just his people, but all of humanity. A selfish man? No. A flawed man? Yes. A man who would choose the greater good over the lesser good every time. Yes. You might think the greater good is the rumbling from Eren's point of view. And for him, it is. But in this scene, the flaw in Eren's plan is clear, and Erwin would be able to see it a mile off. I can imagine Erwin saying this exact problem to Eren himself. Now we know the man, let's answer the question. The rumbling, does Erwin support it? Let me summarise in pros and cons and then give you my thoughts. Pros of the rumbling. Erwin would want to save his people and keep them safe and free. Erwin would go to any length to achieve his goal above. Cons of the rumbling. Erwin's dream is to see the bigger world. The one that his father mentioned. Would he really choose to destroy it in order to keep his friends safe? There are clear flaws in the rumbling. Is it cheap for me to say I think Erwin would find another way? And if that was the case, he would not support the rumbling because he'd be able to find a better solution. But yes, it is a cheap cop-out to the question, but I feel like it is important to my conclusion. If Erwin had another choice or could think of another option, then I don't think he would support the rumbling. However, in AOT, all the other options fall short. And if this was the case, I believe Erwin would support the rumbling. Erwin wants his people to be free and safe, and this is the only way. No other character thus far has come up with a better idea for keeping the people of Paradis safe. Although, as mentioned, I do feel Erwin would find another way, and that there are clear flaws with the plan of the rumbling. As I have said in this video, I am not a fan of the rumbling, and I would not support it. And it is really hard to know what Erwin would do. I'm very much on the fence about this, and I can see both sides of the argument, but if I was forced to pick one, I would say that Erwin would support the rumbling. I feel his connections to protecting the people he loves and what he knows as humanity would be the most important thing to him. But let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, please be civil with each other, even if you don't agree with me or the other people in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like this sort of content. And as always, have a great anime afternoon.